Hi, I'm Dan Hernandez. I'd like to welcome you to this week's episode of Sport Fishing. Well, today we're doing something totally different. I haven't been here in about 12-15 years. We're at Lake Crowley. And today we're going to be fishing with Adam from City of Los Angeles, Department of Water and Power. Invited me to come up fish with them. And he hooked us up with one of the guides, Tom. And Tom will be learning more about his guide service and what he does here. But right now he has us here on the lake. I'm using a fly rod. I know you guys don't see me with a fly rod, but we're using a fly rod today. And what we're gonna try to do is use the flies today, see if we can catch some trout. And they say that there's cutthroat, rainbows, maybe browns. You never know what to expect here. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'll be fishing the flies. We're using bobbers, indicators, and see if we can catch some fish. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. I'm Dan Hernandez and I live to fish.
All right.
I have been fishing along the Pacific coast my entire life.
Oh!
Let me bring you in the action and share with you some great fishing tips along the way.
So it's a fairly simple cast. It's not your typical fly fishing cast we use out here. We want to, get the weight up against the indicator, and we're gonna just lob it back. We call it a water load. Lob it back, plop it in the water, lob it forward, and then that weight is gonna pull the line down until we hit the bottom.
How many flies do we have on there?
We have 2 flies on there, a couple feet apart, so we can cover a wide range of depths that the fish might be at. A lot of times they stay about a foot off the bottom, but sometimes we find fish cruising a few feet up, and so we can kind of target those fish as well. Once the weight gets down to the bottom, we're basically just watching the bobber and waiting for it to get pulled under. When it gets pulled under, we're going to set the hook, and the hook set out here is a vertical hook set. Okay, so we don't want to bend our elbow and go back. We want to lock our elbow and go straight up like that. Okay, it's kind of a quick hook set. You want to hear that line rip off the water like that. Okay, and then it's fish on. Okay, so what we got going right here is a little bit of a boat wake going. What that does is it gets those bobbers jigging up and down, and makes those flies kind of dance a little bit, and that makes them look natural. The fish really like the boat wake, so no problem having a boat wake out here. We actually like it. So my name is Tom Lapine. I am the owner of Rip and Lips Fly Fishing. I've been doing this for 10 years, and it's really fun fishing, and it's a good time. We're out here on Crowley Lake, California, and we're midge fishing for big trout. The season is from the last Saturday of April till the end of October. So we fish all season long. They eat the midge all year round like this. And it fishes pretty well throughout the whole year, especially on years where we have a lot of snow. We have a lot of runoff that comes into this lake, and it keeps the water cool down at the bottom where the fish like to hang out.
So these flies are these midges that you're talking about.
Yep.
They actually live in the mud in the bottom of the lake?
Yeah, they hatch out of the mud at the bottom and they rise up through the water, and the fish like to hang out in that kind of bottom couple feet water column and wait for them to come out of the mud. And as they come out of the mud, they eat those things. It pulls the bobber down, and then it's game on.
Because normally when I think of fly fishing, I think of like dry flies, where you see all the fish boiling on the surface.
Right, on the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, out here, the fish like to target them on the bottom because the flies are moving slower and it's less work, and there's no predators on the bottom, so they feel safer eating those flies off the bottom than they do rising up and eating them off the surface.
And I don't know anything about flies, but are the flies more docile since they've just been hatched and they're just coming out of the mud.
Exactly, yeah. So they're moving slower, they're easier to target, they don't have to chase them around as much. They can kind of just cruise along the bottom and suck them up, you know.
Come on, Dad.
You're getting them all, Adam.
You'll get one right now.
I must have the wrong color fly. Look at that beautiful background behind you, Adam.
It's a little sporadic when it's this early.
That guy wasn't even a duck. He was just quick.
He just barely pulled it, yeah.
Just barely.
And because he has a barbless fly, you got to keep that pressure, right? Keep that rod loaded.
Yep, so I always like to look up at the rod tip. That's a good indication of if you're tight or not. If the rod's bent, then we know we're tight. If it starts to straighten out, we know we need to put a little bit more pressure on that fish.
Good job. Congratulations.
Yeah.
The hook fell right out as soon as we lost pressure, so it's that easy. That's why. All right, you got it. Beautiful cutthroat trout.
It's lit up right now with the sun, too. It's a chunky one.
Like I said, the cutthroats spawn in the springtime, so they'll start to put on their spawning colors just like a salmon would, and they'll get a little bit brighter. They get kind of that brighter pink and red color to them. We'll catch some probably today that are even brighter red.
That guy barely pushed it. It's a rainbow, huh?
Miracles do happen.
Okay.
Nice
Once
job.
your rod's bent up, then take your hand off the reel, let him do his thing.
Okay.
When he eases up, get back.
So just let them run a little bit.
Yeah, I'm way out there, so it's pretty good.
Also, you can steer him, yeah. So
Okay.
it needs to go.
One way or the other.
Yeah, take that rod and kind of pull it the other direction.
It's a cutty.
Is this a rainbow or is this a cutthroat?
Cutty.
Cutthroat?
Yep.
So these won't jump like the rainbows?
No. Very rarely. I've seen very few cutthroat jump.
So this is my first cutthroat. Well, this is my first trout on a fly at Crowley. I've caught them at other lakes up here, but not Crowley. Definitely haven't caught them like this with the indicator.
A little steering to the left for me.
Okay. And away from the anchor line.
Yep, avoid the anchor line, exactly. Have it. Good. Never want to point the rod at him. Let it go straight because then you lose all the shot.
Okay. You gotta use that rod tip.
Yep.
I always tell my clients when we're fishing, the rods are designed to bend. If they weren't designed to be bent, we'd be fishing with 2x4s.
Exactly. That rod tip is your shock
Okay.
absorber, right? So,
Right.
oh, he's pissed. He's taking line. Look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, as he comes at you, yeah, you gain that. No more reeling, okay? We're gonna lift him up and put him in the net here in a second. No more reeling. You're done reeling.
Okay.
Actually, pull
Just
out a
wanna
little
get him.
line off the reel. There we
Just
go.
want to get them to the camera
Yep.
a little bit. Okay, got the fish going good. I'm gonna bring them right to the net now. Let Tom get them.
Pull out just a little line off the reel. No, I'll pull it out off the reel. Yeah, good right there. Now give me a slow lift.
Right to you.
Yep, rod tip kind of over my head.
Okay.
Right hand.
He's not ready. He doesn't have a choice now.
Get it. Solid one.
Nice
Good
fish.
one.
All right, hooks out.
You got the bottom fly too, huh?
Yep.
Right there.
Red slits right there. Exactly.
Hmm.
Cutthroat trout on Crowley Lake.
Crowley Lake. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. Let's take a break from the action, go to the galley, and show you how to cook up with these delicious fish we're catching right here at Crowley Lake. Beautiful fish. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
This week in the galley, I want to cook you up one of those cutthroat trout that we're catching at Lake Crowley. So first thing I want to do is get some oil on my fish. And I don't like to, when I'm using a pan like this, put the oil in the pan. I like to put it on the fish itself. So I get the olive oil on there. And I'll go ahead and brush it on. Get the fish coated really good. And I'm going to do both sides of the fish. And you want to season both sides. So now that I got the oil on there, I'm going to go ahead, start off with some salt, sea salt, some garlic salt. It's more garlic powder like. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and do the other side. Get my garlic. And it has a little bit of salt in it, but not as much salt. It's a little bit more garlicky. And that's ready to go in the pan. Just like that. You can hear that just going really good. So I got the fish cooking really good there. And I'm going to go ahead and add some lemon. And I want to add some thyme. Let that thyme cook it really good. And the last thing I want to add in here is some butter. And I'm going to add the butter. We'll just check the fish and see if it's browning. Oh yeah, it's getting nice and brown. Now that this is cooking really well, let's flip it over. Oh, that's nice and golden. That's how we want that skin. Get a nice crunchy bite to it. So now I'm about ready to plate it. The fish is all done. I can get my sriracha cream sauce, put it on the plate, and spread it out. Just to add some color to the plate. Take the fish, flip it over. There we go. That looks beautiful right there. That's going to taste so good. And at this point, all I want to do is hit it one more time with a little bit of lemon. And I'll just take some lemon, put some juice on it. Never had too much lemon juice on fish. And some fresh parsley. So I have some parsley I cut up. I'm just going to sprinkle that on there. And that's it. That's my cutthroat trout that we caught at Lake Crowley. It looks really, really good. And again, I left the skin on it because I want that crunchy taste when I eat it. And you can just hear it crunch when I cut it. And the sriracha sauce is nice. That's really, really good. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sport Fishing.
Freaking rainbow, man. bottom fly again. Popped right out. There, buddy. You caused a mess. Good time. All right, let's see.
And then other than that, it would be what? Just keep tension on the line all the time. Keep that rod bent.
Casting too much, you want to put those flies on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more you're casting, the longer you're out of the zone. The zone's down there at the bottom.
They're, like you said, they're right there close to the bottom.
So you're casting all day long, and your flies aren't sitting in the zone, and you're missing opportunities.
Good job.
All right, Dan. I have faith again now. You know that, right?
Good job.
That's a beautiful fish.
How'd you get bit on that bobber? That bobber wasn't getting bit at all. That's not.
That is one healthy looking cutty. This guy's chunked. Oof.
Bite him a little bit more. We need to make this a longer trip.
All right. Let's go, buddy.
Adam, do you catch these year round here?
You basically, it's, the fishery here is we call from Fishmish, which is April 30th, that last Saturday, usually there in April, all the way out to November 15th. You can be out here in Crowley and fish these beautiful fish.
Yeah. The marina does close on Halloween though, so October 31st is when the marina closes for boats. But you can take a float tube out here till November 15th.
He's gone.
Did you pop them?
Yeah, popped him. Yeah, we're on a big rainbow right now. These are the leapers out here on Crowley. You get the cutties. Cutties like to go down. These rainbows are the ones that go a little crazy. You can see it's got a little bit of a jam. I think he's ready to go here. Yep.
A little more wood on them,
Yep.
so
Go. Here you go.
we get them in the net. Oh yeah.
Nice one.
The top?
We gonna double net them?
Yeah.
Totally cool to get close to your buddies, right?
Yeah, like.
Just winding down a little bit.
Yep. That rod nice and bent, okay?
Yep.
Lean into the back of it so you got a nice bend. Those rainbows are awesome. They screen line off the reel, they jump. They're the hardest to catch. They're good at tangling up the lines together because they're so dang fast.
It's hard to, when I'm fighting a fish, I normally have my hand on the reel all the time.
Right.
And this type of fishing, you take your hand off the reel a lot.
Yep. Take your hand off when he pulls.
Yeah, when it starts to
And then
run.
when he eases up, then you put the pressure on him and start cranking. Right now, take a few cranks on that sucker. So I like to use the rod tip as a good idea of how hard the fish is pulling.
Mhm.
If you got a good bend in the rod, he's taking off. If your rod starts to get straight towards the tip, you know he's swimming at you, then you got to put more pressure on him.
Okay. Yeah, this guy's trying to get away.
Yeah, he's not happy.
He's gonna be less happy when he sees his buddy in the net.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to talk about their mistakes once they get in the cell together.
Keep the rod tip up.
Yep, get his face up.
Put it slack.
Nice.
That's how we do it right
Double.
Double big rainbow.
there. A lot of these big chrome rainbows are wild fish. You know, they got beautiful clear fin, translucent fins. Look, you can see my finger through his fins. That's how you know it's a wild fish. Beautiful.
This is a rainbow.
That's a rainbow. And here's his buddy. Woo! That's how we do it.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
That one's
We're gonna let
gone.
these ones go.
Okay. Let this guy go too. Let this guy go.
Thanks for playing. buddy.
There he goes.
See you later.
Great shape. All right, let's take a little break from the action here at Crowley Lake. And when we return, I'll be giving you this week's tip of the week. Good job, Tom. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
For this week's tip of the week, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how we caught the fish today. And our guide put us on these trout using midges. And we're fishing down deep and not right on the bottom, but just suspended off the bottom. As he explained to me, as those flies are born, they come out of the mud, and as they slowly come up, those fish are waiting down there to ambush them. Those midges work really good, and that's how we cut all the fish. But more importantly, I want to tell you guys, it's really important that you expand your fishing grounds. If you've only fished 10 miles from home, it's really important that you get out and you travel and try some other locations. And that's what we did today here, fishing out of Lake Crowley. It was a lot of fun. And then earlier in the episode, when you saw us down on the river, again, that's something I don't normally get to do, and it was a lot of fun. I want to thank these guys. Thank you, Tom. It's a lot of fun. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And Tom's service is Rippin' Lips.
Rippin' Lips Fly Fishing.
And they can find you on Instagram at...
Yep, find me at Instagram, Rippin' Lips Fly Fishing, or my website, rippinlipsflyfishing.com.
Okay, cool.
Or you can send me a call or text at 310-347-1175.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
Well, we had lots of fun. We caught some nice fish. I don't think I've ever caught that many cutthroats. I know I've never caught that many cutthroats, and I've never caught trout at Crowley on a fly before. I've caught trout here many times in the past, but never on a fly, and that was a great experience. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, man. It was a blast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
No, thank you, appreciate it.
It was lots of fun. Well, I'm Dan Hernandez. On behalf of these guys, hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week as we go looking for more of the best in sport fishing.